Thank you and welcome to the Stratos Cloud monthly meeting. So we have a full plate today, so I just want to make sure that we're all prepared for a lot of information again. But before we get started in even discussing the agenda, I'm going to turn it over to our very own Jeff Edwards, the Senior VP of our indirect channel.
Thanks, Todd. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year, I guess. We're well into it now. This is our first monthly meeting. And just from a reflections, directions perspective, I think 2025 will be the most action-packed, challenging, both good and, some level of headwinds than we've ever had. Just from your customer's perspective on the cloud side, on the Dynamics side, I think the GP end-of-life messaging out there will have both your competitors and your customers looking around. Microsoft itself has promised to call customers that are still on-prem with a value proposition and an introduction to partners that can fulfill that. They'll be hearing from NetSuite, they'll be hearing from Intact with that message out there. So that's kind of the negative competitive side. On the positive side, I think the tools and capabilities you see from an AI perspective are coming through at a blinding speed. The combination of that capability with business data, with business applications, is super compelling in terms of productivity and speed that a business can operate at. And really, if somebody is still on-prem or not fully utilizing these technologies, there's a great leap forward possibility in terms of utilization of AI to accelerate business processes, increase customer satisfaction, customer responsiveness. So I've never been more excited. Microsoft is spending a tremendous amount of money, both on the technology and in enabling partners to deliver on that technology. We ourselves at Stratos Cloud have received over $1 million to try and drive this knowledge and capability to our partners, the ability to market, the ability to sell, the ability to do pre-sales in a more professional and faster manner. You'll see that with some of our seer friends later in the call. But kind of like buckle up, right? I think if you're doing business in the exact same way at the end of this year than you are right now, then you're doing something wrong. And we're certainly in a position to help you take those steps and improve your business. So we certainly want to do that together. We see a huge opportunity out there, probably kind of unprecedented. And I think across marketing and the partners that we have, pre-sales, and just improving your sales and marketing and implementation machines, we just want to work together with you guys on making that happen and kicking off the year strong. So with that, I'll kick it back to Todd.
Thanks, Jeff. And as you notice our screen, don't be left behind because we're passing, we're going fast. So let's go into the agenda for today. Natalie, that's that next screen. So elevating your BC practice. Microsoft updates, our typical Stratos updates. We have some news on new migration tools and then what the next steps are. So when we think about business applications that Jeff discussed, all partners are looking for the next best thing. They're looking for the next application, the next platform that elevates their business. So with that said, I'm going to introduce Joe Longo, one of the co-founders of Velocio, and Cosmo Bilos from Seer 365, because we think we've identified the platform to move everybody forward and quickly. Natalie, if you go to that next screen. And then we're going to turn it over to Joe for just a few minutes.
Yeah, so thank you, Todd. Glad to join everybody again. I get to jump on these calls from time to time. And this one's been kind of exciting. I've been in this business for 30 years now. Don't want to date myself, but it's been a long time. And while the technologies we use and deploy to bring value to our customers have changed, the essence of what we do as a business hasn't changed a whole lot over the years. And I would say in until recently, when we found and have started to work with the Glide platform from Sear, and you'll see that soon. And I get the opportunity to talk to literally hundreds of partners a year, and quite a few of them, I think well over 100, are already using this platform and seeing some amazing benefits. We all have resource constraints, right? I mean, it's hard to find resources, it's hard to keep them, and we all have that, and that's not going away. We all have margin pressures, right? There's inflation is out there, but whether it's our resource cost or the cost of the application, so margin is becoming a challenge, and we always are looking to deliver quality to our clients. So with those three things, the Guide application is really interesting because it now allows us to accelerate sales process. It is automating tasks that used to take human intervention. It is allowing us to drive profitability in things like discovery, right, where we can do it faster and cheaper in a more efficient manner, qualifying prospects, things like that then roll in and save time and implementation costs. So what we're seeing now is, with this application being deployed through many different partners, is that they are doing more with less. So instead of having to find and hire another resource, their current resources, especially in the solutions architect side and the pre-sale side, those resources are becoming twice as efficient. So they're pushing more business through and not having to go out and find a resource in order to scale their business. So with that, I'll turn it over to Kaz, and he'll show you a couple different areas of the application, and then we'll take it from there. So Kaz, over to you.
We can't hear you, Kaz.
Kaz, we can see you, but we can't hear you.
Doesn't show your mic is muted per se either, so it's interesting.
Cause you need to select the microphone that is gonna allow you to align with the platform. That's probably why. Todd, can we continue with the presentation while he can figure it out?
Kaz, can you go to the audio and see if you can select a different microphone? Natalie, is he promoted to a presenter?
Yes, that's why we are able to see him. But what I'm thinking is that he probably has the wrong microphone. So he needs to go to settings and use the right audio, because sometimes the platform took the wrong one. And that's why we can see that even though he wasn't unmuted earlier, the microphone wasn't very working.
Todd, if he's doing that, maybe you just go to the second item on the agenda and we'll swing back to this.
Yeah, so Natalie, if you'll move to the next slide, we can bring Val in because we're going to do some Microsoft updates. So we need to promote Val to the as a panelist. And she then should be able to be seen and heard. In the meantime, Kaz, if you look at the upper right hand, you may have been doing this. Look at the settings and then go to the audio and see if there's
I'm good now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Perfect. Thanks. And sorry, one more technical dip. Just give me access to share the screen, please, if that would be okay. I think it just tells me that I need to ask the organizer to let me share my screen.
I apologize for our technical difficulties. And it always happens when you're live.
You should be able to do it now, Cos.
Perfect. Can everybody see the screen and hear me?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. And sorry for the technical difficulties there. And just feeding up what Joe said. So we are Seer, created the platform Guide 365. We were previously not Seer, but people who came to Seer were previously part of a partner network, and we have done this for over 30 years as well, where we delivered high-end projects. We were on pre-sales, delivery, but we were just a traditional SI partner. So when we decided to create Seer, we came over and said, right, we don't want to be a partner anymore. We want to help partners. So what we decided to do was create a bunch of applications, and as Joe was mentioning, to help automate the process. Now, when we say automate, we're talking about helping you facilitate your pre-sales, your delivery, your qualification process with the people you have in your organization, not necessarily trying to replace anything. So we're trying to make that a lot faster, a lot easier, and be transparent with the customer as well, because we're not looking at a one-time implementation. This is their first time going through it. We're looking at different types. This might be their third or fourth implementation in technology. All we want is transparency and information on what we're going to be delivered and making that more streamlined between the sales and delivery side. So with that, Seer decided to create applications. And as Joe was mentioning, which feeds right into the slide, is how do we help partners? We got a long sales cycle. We've got long project, unrealistic expectation, license and revenue. How do we help bridge these gaps and make it easier for partners to be profitable as well as successful in delivering projects? So we created the Guide 365 platform, and what we have is a number of applications that you'll see on my screen here. We have the Guide 365 Qualify, Discover, Initiate, Design, Build, and we're working on the next two part of our life cycle will be Adopt and Operate. So the main ones we'll be working on today are Qualify, Discover, and Design, but we'll talk about Build and Initiate along the way. All right. So the first one is qualification. So in this, we're looking at this to say, when someone goes to your website, and usually it says, please contact sales, please put your contact information and sales will contact you. We've created these short surveys that help saying, tell me what you're looking for your business, what are your user count, and a short 5 to 10 minute survey where at a click of a button, the customer will get a output document that will tell them the modules in scope, high level estimation cost of the project, as well as a licensing cost as well. So what we do with this is we help build this out, and then we put this on your website, and it gets embedded within your website for all your leads to come through. Okay, so jumping over, I'm going to go into and show you a demonstration of Qualify. So on Qualify, we have built out these surveys that sit within your website, and I'll show you an example. But basically, you'll come through here and click on your industry, distribution, what the customer's industry is, how many employees are in the organization, which regions do you operate in, and the customer can come through, the prospect can come through here and click through and see and figure out exactly what they need from for their project. Now, what this goes to is at the end of the day, after they click through on the finance system and all that information, inventory, projects, we give a little high-level view of the employees as well as how many people are actually going to need to see the data and approve it versus the ones that are going to be working in the system. All your information here, and at a click of a button, an output document will be generated, and it will give them a low to high estimation of project. It will give a module breakdown of what modules they should be looking at or what areas of D365 they should be looking at. as well as a high-level licensing cost estimation. Now, what it looks like on a web page is this is the one for Microsoft. So we created this for their not-for-profit business. And what they have here is it gives an example of the output that they will get to see the sample report. If you click on it, it'll show them that after completing this information, what report will that prospect get? And ultimately, they would be able to come through, and they'll be able to come through and click on generate your free report now, and it will take them to fill out the survey within here. Okay, so that's qualified. So it's helping you understand and helping your customer understand what they need and what you need to deliver for them and qualify them. Okay, going back to the guide platform. The next one is discover. So this gets into the next line of detail. So after that prospect has been qualified, get them onto the discover platform. And this is our pre-sales application. Now, I'm going to say the different areas as I go through this and say qualifies for that initial qualification one. Discover is that pre-sales application to help with fit gap analysis and high-level project estimation. And design is for the analysis design stage. Now, when I say that, I want to be crystal clear about the fact that we have partners using these in different ways. So you can also use design in the sales process if you wanted to get some more level of detail. And you can also use the discover process in the analysis and design phase. So when we had originally made this application, we had broken it out to saying these are the different areas and the swim lanes of where you should be working in the system. But in reality, partners do different things in different ways. So when we say you use the application, it depends on how you want to use it for your business. So the discover one, I'm going to say the pre-sales side of things, where we are basically taking an RFP and flipping it on its head. So through our industry knowledge and all our information, we have taken all the questions that we have seen in our life cycle, and we have put in all these questions into the guide platform, where a customer can come onto the platform and answer the questions must, should, and could. And at the click of a button, we'll get a fit gap analysis against product. So if we're running against BC, if we're running against FSCM or CRM, at a click of a button, we'll see fit gap, partial, or ISV against those requirements. So just jumping back into the system now. If I go to my Discover environment, you'll come to this landing page here where a customer can be onboarded onto this, and they'll have access to see just to answer the questions in the business and projects overview, the functional requirements, and the licensing. And as a partner, you'll have the ability to pick up all this other information in order to help deal shape. So you'll see the customer requirements breakdown of the build and design hours and all that information. So a prospect would come in here and come to the update and come through the business and projects and tell us a little bit about their business, right? So what organizations, the information about the organization, number of employees, the verticals, information like that, whether or not there's multiple locations or multiple legal entities and which locations sit within those legal entities, their current system, project team, project approach. And then we also grab integrations, which is a very important part of this, because we see a lot of the times that we not capture integrations or existing solutions from the pre-sale side. We only touched lightly on it. Now we're getting customers to fill this out, and we've done direct discoveries, and we see, right, why are you working with this integration when Dynamics 365 does it out of the box? And they didn't know anything about it, and they didn't have the knowledge or information. So we're helping solutionize with them in the early stages of the project rather than waiting to the delivery side of things and seeing anything that might come out or any change requests. So coming back to the Discover, the main part of this, after filling out the business and projects, is our functional requirements. So a survey list of must, shoulds, coulds, nots that a prospect can come and fill out and choose on what is most important to their business, what is something that they currently have a workaround for, or something that they would like to have. So coming through this, we use the Moscow must should could, so that we're not sitting here and trying to go into so much detail and type all this information out or write all this information down and get into the weeds of too much complication. All we want to know at this point right now is whether or not Dynamics is a fit and how much is it going to cost us, and then we can get into those further workshops. So here we click through the must, shoulds, and coulds, and as they go through it, they can have hover over text where we're answering, right, cloud deployments, need more information on that. So we're going to come down, and they basically come through all their information on selecting what is appropriate for them. What we have now introduced in as well is the highlighted yellow fields here that you'll see. What this does is, using AI, we have taken all the common answers across the entire platform, across all our customers, and have said these are the most common answers on how our customers have answered the platform. So you'll see that these majority of the open imbalances are a must, and these ones are not at the bottom.
Hey, Kaz, if I could add some color to this, I sit on the board of a company that was looking at a couple solutions, and the partner came in with this tool, and I sat with them and the management team, and it was unbelievable the amount of detail. Right? I think it was well over 400 or 500 questions, and that was just for a BC implementation, potential BC implementation. It was incredibly thorough, and the interesting part was, as a partner, we didn't need to have a real senior resource in the room. It was a sales resource that understood the questions, and the process we were done in maybe half a day, as opposed to, I think prior to that, another partner said there would be 2 weeks before they could get a solution architect out there and have a deep dive discussion. So, more efficient, better use of resources at the right level, and candidly, the output's amazing, because you don't get that problem we all have when you're in the middle of a project saying, well, I told the sales guy I needed this, right? It's documented what's there. So it was really cool to see. So just wanted to jump in back to you.
No, thanks, Joe. That's a great point that you make. And speaking about just the number of questions you're talking about here, Joe, is about 500 questions, and the range of partners that we have are all the way from small to extremely large partners. So this system can be tailored to your needs from that. So not just from a partner's perspective, but a customer perspective, and saying, right, there's 700 questions in here. We have capabilities of scoping that higher or lower based on our surveys. So some partners look at us and say, wow, who's going to answer 600 questions? We only want to get 100 through. We can scale that down for you as well. So there's a lot of flexibility within the system.
I think the thing to highlight is it fits into our alignment and our plan. Accelerate your BC practice. This is a great way to do that because of all the automation, and it's already built out.
Absolutely. And Todd, with that as well is the ability to copy surveys across answers. So if you make a template version, rather than, let's say you wanted to be more hands-on with the customer during the stage rather than let them fill it out, we could already have pre-populated answers in the system for you to say, right, I just want to go through the things that are typically not seen or not be answered in the system, rather than the must. Obviously we need chart of accounts, obviously we need that. We don't need to ask those questions. We build those templates out with you, so that's easy for you to quickly spin this up and get an estimation out rather than waiting too long for it.
Kaz, are you going to show us the output? Like Joe was mentioning, the output was tremendous. And I'd have to say, in being in different roles throughout my career, and I think many of you on the phone have been in similar situations, we get formats from various consultants, pre-sales, solution architects, and it's all different. And I think this is a great way of standardizing and templating everything. And it's a very professional output. So I'd love to be able to show the partners some of that output.
Of course. I can go straight to that now, because once you answer those functional requirements, we got to a licensing wizard in there as well. Really easy to use, but ultimately I'll get to the end, to the main point, is the output documents. So from this, everything's built out. We brand this with partners information, a terminology, anything you want to add in. We've already built out the templates, like I mentioned, but of course you can pull things out, add things in there. So it's completely customizable for you and what you want to offer. And from this, we immediately get to pull out, we slice and dice it on your report by must, should, and could. So we break it out by full project, MVP, or must and should, a little bit of combination of both. And we give you the fit gap analysis for all that, as well as the breakdown of cost. With that as well, we give the scope, so how they've answered what's in scope, how they've answered the questions. So when we're handing this off, not only to just the prospect, but when you're handing it off to the delivery team, they have full visibility of what questions have been answered, as well as any reporting information or ISVs that they need to look into, and what's going to be a phased approach in phase 1, phase 2. So breaking all that information out. That's something probably I should go a little bit quickly into, is the fact that within those requirements of modules, it's easy for us to phase it out. And so even if somebody's answered must to everything in the system, we can put a phase in 1, phase 2, phase 3 against it. And we can also give you a full project estimation based on the full phase in, as well as slicing it by phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So you're showing an entire life cycle of the system, rather than just, oh, we just want to get this business and implement something. You're actually on a journey with this partner, with this customer. Another big one is that we always pull out, if there was a will not, we pull this out. This is very important for our team in terms of delivery. We want to be transparent with our delivery team as well, and saying, right, what was said to no in the system, because the conversation of change requests, or during the delivery stage when something comes up, you'll be able to come back to this documentation and say, right, this was answered as a not, or this was said that was pushed off. So we have a lot of standardized outputs, and a lot of keeping it consistent for all our partners and our pre-sales to delivery side, so that we are staying consistent, so everybody knows what they're reading and what they're looking at, rather than different outputs. On top of that, we have many more outputs out of that, but the main two ones that, for customer presentation, we also have the executive summary. So in this, at a click of a button, rather than having to recreate a PowerPoint every single opportunity that you have and change all that information, we have standard out-of-the-box templates for you to put in your branding and your information, and then you'll have these be able to play back to the customer. So what we have on these screens is some information around our understanding of business, the project scope. You're basically playing this back, and it's a full presentation that's already been built out.
So, Kaz, I think for just the sake of time, I'm going to jump in and say to everybody that's on the phone, if you're a Stratos Cloud partner, we have special pricing from Seer for you. So that is one thing to note. We also have some funding opportunities. So for some of you that want to be very strategic and jump into this, there are expectations. We expect to have results, and we expect you to leverage the tool. So we do have some funding opportunities. We can do a deeper dive. All you need to do is to ask and request that from your PDM, or you can email myself. So Kaz is always there, ready, stand by to help us get everybody into this. We already have people, partners, that are leveraging the platform. But we'd love to see more of you take a look at this, because what we're hearing is acceleration and success. So Kaz, thank you so much for bringing forth the platform and talking us through. Joe, thank you for some of the feedback that you've had as well. And I think we'll continue to get feedback. We'll continue to give updates on the platform. Again, special pricing for Stratos Cloud partners. So
Thanks,
with
Todd.
that said, just in time to get through the rest of the presentation, we're going to turn it over to Valerie Borak. with some of the Microsoft updates that you all need to know.
Hello, hello. Can everybody hear me?
I think
Todd,
we
can you
can.
hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Good afternoon, everybody. So things that we want to make sure you're aware of as partners. There has been emails and blogs and posts about new pricing coming out April 1st. So we would want to make sure you're all aware of the changes. One of the first changes that I know a lot of people have is the new Teams phone pricing. Teams phone pricing hasn't gone up, I think, barely ever, and the rates are now increasing. So make sure you adjust accordingly, that the Teams phone standard is going up to $10 per user per month, $120 for the year, and that the Teams phone with the domestic and international calling is going up to $34 per month, or $408 a year. Make sure that if you have subscriptions that renew after April 1st, that you make these price adjustments on your renewals to your customers, because this will take effect on current subscriptions. Also, the same goes for the Power BI Pro price increase, okay? As of April 1st, the Power BI Pro price or Pro license will go up to $14 per user per month, okay? Or the, what is the other one? The Power BI, I don't remember what PPU licenses are, but that's going up to $24 a month. Sorry, when I forgot the name of that one. And then also keep in mind that there were some issues with the Microsoft website where there wasn't any Power Apps per app plan listed out there. We have done some looking into that. Power Apps per app is not going away. It is still out there. So if you've seen that on the website and you got a little nervous, don't worry, it's still available. Then we have the new Copilot billing option. They did release it to be able to be sold monthly and be monthly paid annually, just like all the other NCE payment options. But they will also all fall in line with the price changes that we're going to see on the next slide. If you want to go to the next slide for me. Those are the only price increases we're posting at this time, but this is a very important update for everybody who has annual paid monthly NCE subscriptions. All of those subscriptions, annual paid monthly, will go up 5% on all renewals after April 1st. So that means if you go into the hub and you pull your subscriptions and you sort by yearly paid monthly, those are the clients that you should be addressing the price increase for. Yearly paid monthly only will go up 5%. Yearly paid yearly will not change. BC annual license is still annual based on that $70 per user per month. That price won't change. It's the annual paid monthly that is going up. And this is across the board, all subscriptions. So don't just look at your Business Central, look at your Microsoft 365, look at your Dynamics licensing, look at all of your licensing. Anything that has yearly paid monthly starting April 1st. It will become on new sales and on your renewals upon the renewal date. Okay? This is really key, and you can go pull the subscription report in the hub and be able to find these very easily to know who you're going to have to talk to. Next up. So for this, our fabulous marketing department has put out information out there for you for your client communications, the blog, for the billing changes, Copilot, all of this. Use what we have. Use what we have, okay? Client communication is key. You don't want your clients to be like, oh, I have a price increase. What is going on? I saw this on the Microsoft website. Get in front of it. Make sure they're aware of it. Use our client communication. We've already put it together for you. We have blog posts out there to help you with it. Take what we give you and just shoot it out. Okay, this is all out there on our Stratos Cloud partner portal. You can find it all under the marketing. All right, and I think next up is Todd. I think you are taking over from
Yep.
here. We'll talk about something fabulous.
Yep, something better than price increases, right?
Yes.
But pay attention to those, because we don't want to get a bunch of emails after the fact saying you didn't know. So pay attention to those. Thank you, Valerie, so much for providing that. Stratos Cloud Partner Day, directions in Vegas. Who doesn't want to go to Vegas? I'm sure some of you have already signed up, and if you haven't, you may want to. We got a couple of things going on. We do have a Stratos Cloud Partner Day. It is going to be Sunday, April 6th, 1 to 5, and then we have a happy hour. You can read the sneak peek. We're going to have Joe Longo again. We're going to get Pam Johnson from Microsoft, our own Jeff Edwards. We're going to be talking about various topics. Here's some of the ones that we've already got, and we've already started to obviously cultivate and put together the documentation and the content. Creating marketing strategy to boost your leads. Solution designations, how you need to add to those to get more profit. So that's a big key topic. Accelerate your BC practice. I mean, that's what we're all about here at Stratos, is accelerating Business Central and growing your practice. Listening to others, your peers, on their journeys, building their practices, and some of their initiatives that have been successful. You know, the other sneak peek that I'm going to give you, Microsoft has not published this yet, so I'm kind of giving you a little bit of intel. I don't have a lot of details, but there is going to be a whole session, let me rephrase that, a whole track on BC product technical training. It'll be something you sign up for. I believe there will be an extra cost to your pass, but there will be some training going on. Next up is, and I don't know why our pictures don't show, but next webinar from a Stratos update is this Accelerate Your Practice. So it's going to be myself. It's going to be Mike DeGeeter, myself. I'm trying to remember who else is going to be there. But we're going to talk about, you know, what are the funding opportunities for Microsoft? There are some. Some of you are aware of them. Some of you are leveraging them. Some of you are new and just learning about them. This is Microsoft's Q3. So I'm going to have some opportunities in Q3. I just found out this morning I'll have some opportunities in Q4. So you'll want to reach out and hear about those. And of course, we're here to help you transition from your GP, your SL, your NAV clients to Business Central, and how do you grow that? So we're going to talk about those particular topics on February 20th. So I know that was pretty fast. Just remember, directions in Vegas, partner day for Stratos Cloud, and price increases. So I now would like to turn it over to my good friend, Jeff Suen, Director of Solution Management at Velocio, and he's going to be talking about some of the newest tools they've developed for migrations.
Excellent. Wow. So Todd, Michael, and Val, I've heard of your names before. You guys look very familiar to me. Well, hi, everyone. I'm going to go here and start sharing with you my slide deck on some cool new information around, let me get the whole entire screen, around migrations. So as you heard, there's a big push, there's always been a big push around migrating your customers off of Dynamics SL and getting them into Business Central. And so what I'm here to talk about are kind of 4 different things that I've come up with. So first, Jeff Suen, you see my email address. Anything that comes up during this presentation you have a question on, I'm the person to go to help you out with that. Going to my slide. So I'm going to talk about 4 different areas around the migration tools, things that I want you to start thinking about, because I'm very excited to announce that all these tools are now available to you as a partner to start taking your customers. Now you might say, Jeff, I know there's been tools in the past, and that is true. What we've done is this past year, we have retooled and rebuilt all of these tools to kind of modernize them and take them up to the latest and greatest versions of the BC migration tools. So there are 4 different things to start thinking about. You've got a customer, they're on SL, but what modules did they use? Sure, you could go look at the registration and guess, yeah, I guess they have all these modules registered, but if they're an A1 or a B1, how do you know which ones they're actually using? So the first tool that we have here is the analysis tool. What this basically gives you is a snapshot of really what are they using. Sure, they have GL, AP, AR inventory, but when we look at it, they're only doing entries in GL and AP, and that's it. Oh, okay, well, that's great because that gives you a good idea. What am I really getting into when I'm starting to migrate this customer? So that's the first important tool that's available to you. The neat thing about this tool is it runs outside of Business Central, so I'll do that. The second thing, repair tool. The biggest thing in a migration is always the SL data. As your former product owner, I know that over the years, if you've been on SL, you've been on it for a long time. And we've had several things to go through, version 7, 11, 2015, 2018. There's going to be some bad data in there. So there's a great tool called the repair tool that's going to remove the obvious bad data, give you information on the stuff that you should probably take a look at, and then also help you with upgrading some important tables. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, now I've got my data in SL ready. Now I want to start moving it. So over inside of Business Central is an application built into Business Central, I'm happy to say, that'll start migrating your data, taking that master data, moving it over into Business Central, your accounts, your vendors, your customers, inventory items, if you're using that. Move that data over here. Also bring over any balances or open documents, great. But Jeff, you know what? I see you're only bringing over master data and open documents. What about historical information? My people want to see the historical, my customers want to see it. No problem. Included is the SL historical snapshot feature, which will go ahead and take all those transaction tables, and I'll show you in a second all of them, and move that over into Business Central extension tables so you can view that. So lots to cover. Let's just go ahead real quickly and get you up to speed. So again, the analysis tool, what are we doing? We're telling you what version of SL are they running? What version of SQL are they running? What modules? How many master records? Do they have 100 vendors or do they have 500 vendors? How many customers? We're not giving you all the customers, we're just giving you numbers to understand what's the magnitude of what you need to think about. Something very important when you're getting ready to plan out that. So again, that's what it's going to do. This is the areas we look at. These are all the modules. So even though we don't migrate all these modules right now, we wanted a tool that could show you it all. So we're happy to have that. Repair tool. On the repair tool, similar to that, what's it going to do? Again, it's going to connect to your database. It's going to tell you, okay, I've connected to look at your data, and it's going to find the obvious errors. Now, the obvious errors would be if you happen to have a record that's missing a key value. Let's say you have an old vendor or customer record that doesn't have the vendor ID or customer ID. Well, you probably didn't know that was in there, and this tool will go ahead and remove it and get rid of the obvious. But also, it's going to run a lot of the checks that we have inside of SL and give you a report back. Hey, we've seen some of these items are out of balance. And the whole goal is that you're fixing your data on the SL side because of the old adage, bad data in, bad data out. If we can make that data more and more, make it better on the front end, then it's going to be much easier to bring it over. So again, that's what the repair tool will do for you. Again, what are we going to repair? Right now, we're looking at GL, AP, AR, inventory, purchasing, sales order, and project controller. So those are the modules. So there's a whole session. If you want to learn more about these tools and how to do them, we presented through Microsoft several webinars. So please feel free to reach out to me and I can get you connected so you can view those, or I'm happy to get with you. So these two tools are available to you today. They're available on GitHub. What this allows you to do is download, compile, and make your own version of it. And if you have technical resources, if you see something missing, you can actually open it and add to it. So you have that capability to do that right inside there. We're going to go into the tools. And Todd, can you mute yourself for me, my friend?
I just did.
Okay. So other things to talk about. What are we migrating? Well, you've got your Dynamics SL database. You've got Business Central in the cloud. What are we bringing over? We're bringing over master records, account balances, and open AR AP docs. So I've got all these documents and there might be 15 of them open that still have a balance. we'll bring them over into Business Central so then you can continue to move forward with them. So it's going to take that data out of your SL database, put it into a staging table, and then put it into your Business Central table at a high level. So really quickly, again, what are we bringing over? Just what I said. The one thing to note is that in SL, we have sub-accounts, and we know that's one long string, a sub-account string with many different segments. In Business Central, you have separate fields. Now, the good thing about it is there's 8 in SL and there's 8 in Business Central. So, wow, that works out perfectly. So we're going to bring over those sub-accounts, and you're going to actually help us map which ones go to where. So we'll bring that information over. We're going to do account balances for every period. So I can say, hey, you know what I'd like to do for the last 2 years? Can you bring the account balances that have happened over the last 2 years? So I have record of them in Business Central, and you will have entries inside Business Central that shows you what were your account balances for the last 2 years. Great. All right. I'll bring that information over. It'll bring over my vendors. I can choose what I want to bring, active vendors and leave the other ones, or bring active customers or ones that have been inactive. And also we bring over inventory. Now this is just a starting point. We're going to bring more, but this is what the version that's out there right now does. The last point here, we've got the historical data. I want to bring that over as well. What we're going to do actually is a little bit technical, but in your SL database, you might have had to look up something in SQL. Well, our tables names are things like GL-Tran for the general ledger transactions, AP-Doc for accounts payable documents, AP-Tran for AP transaction lines. Our naming convention is pretty straightforward. What we're actually doing is you tell us how many years that you want to go back. So migration-wise, I'm going to migrate just 2 years of data, but for historical period information, I'd like to bring over the last 5 or 10 years of information, so you have that ability as well. And we'll bring over and we'll basically copy that table, the GL-Tran table, and we'll copy it into Business Central. It'll be called SL Hist GL-Tran. And we're going to create smart lists to allow you to view them. Think of a smart list as a quick query in SL. So it's just a way to view that information in there. So if you have customers who are like, hey, I don't want to let go of it, I don't want to have SL running in the background, no problem. We can bring over that data so you can view it and you can use it. You can use other tools and such to view that information. It's inside your BC database, so then you can use other tools to view it. And here's all we bring. GL, all the tables from GL, payables, receivables, all the different tables that you would expect us to bring over, come over with this as well. And I think I accidentally cut off the next page. We're also bringing over project. I apologize. I forgot to cut out one of my slides. We're also bringing over project and other information as well. So all that information is coming over for your historical information as well. Now, for those of you who say, hey, that's really cool, how do I get interested in seeing more about it? There's built-in help into Business Central. If you go into Business Central and go under assisted setup, you're going to see setup cloud migration. That's your starting point. That's what get you started and start going through the process. Again, I've got webinars that I've done on it. I think we've done 3 or 4 already. So if you'd like to learn more about it, please feel free to reach out to me. One last slide, and I apologize, Todd, if I went too fast, but the whole idea here is it's available now. If you're on BC 25 or 0.2 or later, this product has our migration tool in it. If you have questions, comments, or concerns on this, we've got me. You can reach out to me. Also, if you're starting your migration tool process and you have a question, the Microsoft Dynamics SL support team has been trained to start working with you on assisting you if you have an issue. So as you go through it, it's not something we're going to say, here, have at it, have fun. Microsoft Standard SL support will be available to talk with you, see what your issues are, and work on any fixes that need to happen, or just assist you with that whole process. So thank you, Stratos team, for letting me come on. I'm really excited about this. We talked about it probably a little less than a year ago, that these tools were coming. We're excited that they're now all available to you. If you have any questions at all, I'm here to help. So reach out to Todd or Val. They can get to me, or you've got my email address as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff. So, we had lots of information today, and I think on the last slide, it's going to say next steps. So contact your PDM. You don't have to wait until the 20th to hear about some of the Microsoft offerings or funding and some of those initiatives. Make sure to write down April 1st and those price increases. Also, make sure if you're not going to directions, you might want to be looking at that. Flights start to get a little pricey as the spring goes up to going to Vegas. Again, contact your PDM or myself or Jeff Sewin. And don't forget about the SEER tool. Again, Stratos Cloud Partners have special pricing. 2, there are some offerings for some funding by Microsoft for that platform. So give us a shout, give us a call. Here's the thing, accelerate your business. And that's what we're here to help you. So thank you for everybody for coming today, and we will talk soon. Thank you.